How absurd. Never in my life have I heard of a more outrageous gesture.
Outrageous. You're the one who's spreading unkind whispers about my works.
Ah, everyone, welcome to our 5th official cabinet meeting. Have a seat. We will discuss the numerous events that have transcended in the passing years. I'm sure everyone is well acquainted with each other. So let's swiftly begin. As we all know, Hamilton has devised a plan that has the potential to solve our debt crisis. It's called BEAT. It requires us to be more functional and industrial with our practices as a country.
That's ridiculous. We started as an agricultural economy and it needs to stay that way. How is the South going to benefit in any way? They've already paid their state's debt.
Calm down, Jefferson. Allow Hamilton to explain his plan. Perhaps you might change your mind.
Yes, let me make it beat some sense in that hollow head of yours. Thank you, Mr. Washington. That shredder doesn't know when to hush. Anyways, here's our current dilemma. We have a national debt of $52 million. We have no respect from foreign nations. We have no protection through our army and navy. And I guarantee you that the British are laughing our demise and readily planning an attack. Without any money, we have no means of funding our army.
Dear heavens, we cannot let that happen. We must protect American soil.
Ah, yes. That's where BEAT comes in. We must establish a national bank, tax items such as liquor, pay for our state debt, and tax imported goods on to influence our national economy. Higher taxes will cause people to buy more local products and improving our economy further.
You cobbler, do you know where whiskey is grown? In the South. I enjoy a nice drink of whiskey after dealing with an annoyance such as you. Farmers will rebel against us, you mark my words.
If anyone rebels, I'll send an army down. Even if we have no funds, our army is more than capable of handling a few farmers.
Mr. President, you do have a plantation named Mount Vernon. Do you want to pay taxes on crops?
I'm fine with doing anything that benefits the economy. Mr. Hamilton, please explain your idea further.
Gladly, Mr. President. I thought of something that even a simpleton such as Hamilton will never be able to devise. We could easily use government bonds, which would give the investors an annual profit, fueling the economy to spend more money. We can create a bank called the Financial Intermediary of the United States of America that could regulate the state banks, strengthen our government, and ensure that businesses were close to us.
How about the National Bank?
Nincompoop. And besides, there is nowhere in the Constitution that gives us the ability to make ideas such as these.
The Constitution is a guideline. We don't have to abide by it. This bank plan is what America needs. Through it, borrowing money will be easier and allows people to borrow funds faster.
Who is going to be funding money to all these people?
Some private investors.
Who are these private investors?
Yes, would you please elaborate?
People in Congress.
You thief! You're planning on getting rich from our demise as a country. This is inadequate.
Calm down, Jefferson. We need a start. I will be the one approving this idea of BEAT.
This is crazy. This would give the industrial people in the North more power. The southern states have paid their debt. They need a compromise.
How about we move the capital from New York to south of the Potomac River? The capital would be centralized and would be a place of power.
Interesting. This would gladly appeal to the states. Plus, it keeps the North from getting too powerful. Thank you, Mr. President. Still, I'm not completely compelled with the idea of Hamilton providing money.
It will benefit us in the long run, Mr. Jefferson. I guarantee it. Anyways, turmoil has begun to run in France. They have sent us letters regarding our help, though it's turned quite brutal. Shall we give aid or resist fight?
The situation in France is worrying. The rebels are becoming more violent by the second.
By God, let them be violent. Those tyrants in the French government are long overdue for rebellion. Their kings and queens are bad, to say the least.
But this reign of terror, is it unnecessary? More blood are already in a cruel world.
Of course you don't support the revolution. You and your Federalists are always afraid of a conflict.
At least now you whisper to my face. Mr. President, please help me. This man needs to learn what is best for our nation. These French revolutionary attacks religion and society itself. Do you support this chaos?
Enough! I have long considered our predicament in the struggle. Would there be harm in a neutral stance? Besides, France threatened Britain itself. Our economic state would further crumble if we dared oppose Britain. For as much hatred as I harbor towards the nation of redcoats, we need them for trade. Perhaps we do nothing?
Tisk tisk, Mr. President. It seems like you haven't seen the recent rumor in the Crazy Republic papers. I heard that French fleets are taking U.S. ships. They turn them into their crewmen and sail back to their home country.
That's preposterous. No fable could justify any reasoning towards that event.
I'd have to slightly agree with Jefferson for once. They support us, but until they stop being violent, we must turn our cheek.
I want war.
No, Henry. No war.
Please?
No war. The revolution in France has become a war on society. What was once a noble battle for aristocracy has become a contest of murder and savagery. I cannot openly support these barbarous acts.
All things accounted for, it would be best to avoid endangering our own soldiers in these foreign affairs.
I, for one, agree with Washington. Neutrality would save us money and bloodshed. Now, Jefferson?
All things considered, whatever suits our country's needs, I suppose. It is settled then. Neutrality.
We depend on British for foreign trade, and the French helped us in combat our revolution. Without tossing this country into chaos, I'd say it's best to stay neutral. Thank you for this interesting meeting, gentlemen. This, put simply, will be one of my last meetings.
Mr. President!
I've led this nation for some time, and I believe it's time for me to relinquish my power. I'm getting old, and I feel that it's time for me to return to my ranch. It's time for a new successor to the executive chair. I hope that the Federalist and Democratic Republicans do not split this great nation.